G'day guys, welcome back to Aussie Savvy Cents, where we talk about Australian personal finance, investing in property, shares, and of course, precious metals. Now today I thought we'd quickly talk about what's been happening with the recent increases in price for gold and silver over the last week. So since the end of January of 2026, we've seen massive drops with gold and silver dropping more than 30 and 50% respectively. But now recently, we're starting to see such significant price swings in the upward direction. So I thought I'd quickly talk to you guys about what's causing all of this, at least from my understanding. Now, before I get right into that, I thought I'd quickly show you guys a little bit of an unboxing of sorts. I've recently acquired some gold and silver before the price increase, and I'd like to show you how that's performed over the last week. So, without further ado, let's start off with this one. And I picked this one up at my local bullion dealer. And this one is... Oh yes, this is the American Silver Eagle. You know, I went to a local coin shop before and I asked about these coins, and the guy tried to correct me saying, oh, you mean a Liberty coin. And I sat there thinking, I guess, it does have Lady Liberty on the obverse over here, but I've heard many people, especially on YouTube, everyone calling it Silver Eagles. So what do you guys call it? Do you call it an American Silver Eagle, or do you guys call it a Silver Liberty coin? Curious to know what the right terminology is here. Anyways, that's what he was trying to correct me on. But yeah, I picked this up recently. Would have only been just a couple of days ago, so I don't think it actually has clawed back the cost of the coin itself, and I'll go into the details about that right now. So the American Silver Eagle, or ASE, which is what I'm going to acronym the name of this asset. This, I only have 1 ounce. I do have more. I have another Silver Eagle already in my stack, but I'm specifically talking about the cost for this one. This cost me 112 Australian dollars. Yes, it's a very high premium, and the spot price at the time, and this is not entirely accurate, I won't say it's average, this is the spot price. The spot price at the time would have been, I believe it was 91 already. 91.68 Australian dollars an ounce at the time. So that would mean this premium at the time would have been 22% to acquire the coin. 22% above spot. That's how much the dealer was charging for this coin. It was a very... American Silver Eagles are very hard to find here in Australia, and when you do find them, everyone wants them. Because of what we all see in YouTube, so these things go for one hell of a premium here, unfortunately. So 22% premium is what I paid. What the current spot price is at the moment, if we can have a look here, sitting at $93.69 an ounce. So that means its current value is obviously $93.69. So, if you look at the price movement of, it's really more than $2 over the last couple of days. That's actually a very unusual move for silver. Historically, you'd always see silver move only no more than a few cents a day. But seeing price swings like this of more than, $2, $3, $4, hell, over the last week, it's jumped by about $10 in the spot price of silver alone. That is a very unusual move. So you can't help but question, is this sustainable? Will it actually drop down eventually or not? But I'll talk more about that later. Let's completely finish these numbers here. All right, so the difference between the current spot price of silver and what I've actually acquired it by is going to be $18.31. That is a loss, by the way. Which is roughly 19.5%. It's not too bad, actually. I mean, look at it. It's gone from 22% to 19.5% in just a matter of days. I've clawed back essentially 2.5% of its value when I first bought the coin, which is rather quite impressive. Now, if you thought that was amazing, an amazing amount of performance that you would see over the last couple of days, wait till you see what I have in here. Let's do a bit of a unboxing of this. I'm not going to use my knife, unfortunately, because it's not sharp enough to pierce through this plastic envelope. Let's pop it through and see what we got. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Look at that. Pop that over there. How does one open this? One opens it. Maybe I should have had my knife. No matter. Bubble wrap is easy to get through and always fun to pop. Oh yes. Now, have a look at these. Oh. Would you look at that? If you haven't guessed it already, this is my, I believe it's a 1908 20 franc French gold coin. How awesome is that? Lovely, lovely piece of gold. Look at that. Republique Française. I'm afraid I'm butchering the pronunciation, so any French listeners out there, please tell me how I'm supposed to pronounce Republique Française. But look at that. I believe one of you guys who commented in my previous videos was talking to me about my gold portfolio video, and you know, we were talking about I believe it was about this one, which was the 20 Swiss franc, and you know, you were saying that, oh, you should definitely get the rooster to go alongside with it. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I've definitely pulled the trigger on that. It did cost me a bit of a coin on it, so I'm certainly not going to be buying any more gold or silver for a very long time. But hey, look at that. It's a French rooster. Absolutely love it. So let's get into the number of acquiring this coin and how it's actually performed over the last couple of weeks, because I actually picked this up a couple of weeks ago before we started to see the nice increases to both gold and silver that we are seeing over the last week. So I picked up this coin, this beautiful 20 franc coin, and I believe it would have been $1,181.70 Australian cents. That's how much it cost me to acquire this beautiful piece of gold. And of course, it being a 20 franc, and like the Swiss 20 franc, it has the same weight and same purity. It's 90% gold, and it would have 0.1867 troy ounces of gold. Wonderful. So that means that when acquiring this coin, the spot price for this price should have been $6,329.40 an ounce. Now, what does that mean? Well, when I bought this on the 3rd of August, and the spot price at the time would have been 5,785 Australian dollars at the time. That's how much of a spot price was, which means the premium for this coin above the spot price of gold would have been 9.4%. 9.4% above spot price. That's how much I paid. Now, here's what's amazing. The current spot price of gold as of the 12th of August, that is now, if we can see over here, $6,245.79 Australian cents. What a performance over the last couple of weeks. Not even 2 weeks, really. Which means its current value is now 1,166 Australian dollars and 8 cents. Now, granted, it's still a loss, sure, but not by much. It's only a $15.61 loss so far, which means I'm only in the red by negative 1.33%. Oh man, if gold just increased by another 15 Australian dollars, maybe tomorrow, I would be in the green. I would have bought this coin, really 2 weeks ago, at its gold price, which is incredible, considering that it's certainly worth a hell of a lot more of its gold price because, you know, a 20 franc rooster is kind of sought after. So I'm pretty happy I've actually picked this up. And I'm pretty happy that we can see, you know, this wonderful increase in gold and silver recently. So now we've come to the reason why that we're starting to see a 10 and 11% increase in gold and silver respectively over the last 30 days. And based on research as well as what other YouTubers are also saying in this industry, the main reason for this rally has been a combination of the weaker US economic data, expectations of easier monetary policy, and a softer US dollar. I mean, there was a recent US employment data that was released, and it was rather weak. A weak number that was sent out. I can't remember what it was though. But the weaker U.S. labor market data that came in, I believe that's what increased the expectations that the Federal Reserve would become more willing to cut interest rates. And of course, you know, when the Federal Reserve decides to cut interest rates, that usually means that gold and silver becomes significantly more attractive to store your money in, because a weaker interest rate would technically mean less interest that you could earn through US Treasuries. And so therefore, if you don't have as much of an incentive to go into US Treasuries, then you're more likely to store your money in vehicles such as silver and gold that tend to hold its value, hold the value of the dollar a lot better than fiat currency can. And of course, you still got, you know, the geopolitical uncertainty where the US and Iran still have, you know, their conflicts going on, and there's no real ceasefire or peace treaty in sight. And of course, you know, that also comes with concerns about inflation. You know, oil prices are more likely to go higher as a result. And it makes everything become more expensive. It makes, you know, delivering food and, you know, using fertilizer to grow food and, you know, delivering everyday goods and services. The cost of all that just happens to go up. So because the market is so very forward thinking in terms of what to expect, even though none of this has really, you know, solidified in terms of its effects on the market, everyone's already expecting that there's going to be an easier monetary policy, a softer US dollar, falling bond yields, you know, continuing geopolitical uncertainty, and of course, you know, increased inflation concerns. So let me know in the comments below, has the recent price increase benefited you in some way? Have you been slowly dollar cost averaging and buying into silver and gold, you know, over the last few months, and now you're starting to see and reap the rewards like I am, as you can see over here with this, with the recent purchases of gold and silver, and, you know, riding up that wave of the price increase in silver and gold, and eating up that hefty premium you'd have to pay in order to acquire them. Have you guys had that advantage? Or perhaps you're looking to sell now that gold and silver has increased over the last week quite dramatically. Maybe you're just waiting for that moment where it passes the $65 mark. And so therefore you're just, wanting to get out of the market and liquidate it for whatever reason that may be. And one more thing I'd like to ask you guys, do you think that this very quick increase is a trap? Maybe it might actually go down over the next week and go down even further than it was before. Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos such as this. And I'll speak to you guys later. Have a good one.